mai. Hey, como mai. Welcome to our podcast tonight. Mighty Girl Productions, Small Man Jiu-Jitsu, and Medium Man Jiu-Jitsu. So tonight's topic is going to be what to expect at each belt level. How's it going, Alika?
You ready to piss somebody off?
I mean, just like we talked about, right? I mean, everybody's going to have a slightly different opinion, and it may or may not line up with what everybody's thinking.
No matter what we say in this podcast, in this session, someone's going to disagree with us. This is the most subjective topic we could probably talk about when it comes to like jiu-jitsu stuff. And it's just opinion. It's just like what you think or like what you feel. There's no standard.
And I think sometimes when the more controversial your video are, the more people want to watch it. So maybe just to help lift the viewership, yeah?
Oh man, yeah. I think no matter what we say, someone's going to disagree. Someone's going to say something offensive. So if you guys are going to comment in the video, please at least keep it respectful because this is just opinions.
It's two guys' opinion on what we think from our experiences through jiu-jitsu, and it may or may not line up with what you think, but so be it. Let's give it a stab.
Give it a year. We might change our minds.
Yeah. I think at white belts, I don't want to say white belt's the easiest, but I mean it's the beginner belt, right?
I'm gonna say it's the hardest because you got to get in the gym.
It's the hardest to get.
Yeah.
It's definitely the hardest belt to get. Yeah, there's always that. What's the hardest belt to get? White belt. Yes.
It's intimidating to walk into a gym.
It is super hard. I've been doing a bunch of those white belt series videos, and most of the time it's a friend, a relative, or somebody that introduces them to it, or they join together.
Yeah.
So you can come in knowing somebody versus like, oh, who are all these scary guys?
If you're by yourself, you don't know anything about jiu-jitsu, and it's like you think you're walking into a bunch of meatheads that are gonna choke you unconscious and break your arms. It's intimidating.
It is hard. I think a lot of times it does help when you have a friendly face that approaches you as soon as you step in.
Yeah.
Hey, how's it going?
Yeah.
So-and-so. Hey, nice to meet you. And then it kind of eases some of that fear.
Yeah. Even having somebody like a receptionist, someone that welcomes people in, or like just another not brand new, but like another upper belt somewhere. Like, oh, hey, what's your name? Let me show you where the place is at. Here's where you put your bag. Man, it completely changes. If you walk in and no one looks at you, everyone kind of eyes you out weird. Oh man, you might not even start that day. You might just walk out.
Yeah, first and last class, right? Yeah. So like over at Concept, it's pretty good because we're it's a smaller gym. You've been there, right? Yeah. So as soon as someone walks in, I can see, and if they're new, I pretty much know everyone there. Yeah. Hey, how's it going? Your first class, or you're coming for open mat. Try to broach a little conversation, make them feel at ease, right? Hey, it's just jiu-jitsu, have some fun, and then. I can sense, they're a little bit more relaxed. In fact, we had a guy start maybe 2 weeks ago, and he was nervous. I said, don't be nervous, we just hang out and just do some jiu-jitsu. And I think he likes it because he went through the trial week and he stuck with it.
Good. Yeah. You guys give a trial week over there?
Trial week.
That's good. I like that. I like a little bit more time to kind of like feel the vibe. You can't always get it in one class.
It's pretty hard, in one class. Yeah, and then you can see different people maybe throughout the week, right? And then see if that's something you want to do. Yeah. Because I have a lot of people saying, "Oh, what's a good gym to go to?" Again, go try them out, right? I can give can give you my input because maybe I have a different feeling from the people that I already know, right? Yep. And you're going in there as an unknown person, right?
And like, what are your goals? If you have different goals, what is your age? What are you trying to get out of it? Is it kid focused or not? A lot of factors.
Definitely.
There's no best. There's a best for you.
So, from that standpoint, right? So we got our white belt.
Okay.
We're 1 month in, or what are we thinking? What that person should be trying to do? Where should they be? What is like maybe let's say the first 6 months.
First 6 months.
First 6 months. Okay.
Okay. So I'm gonna say basic movements, like the drills that most of us upper belts think are worthless are actually kind of important, like knowing how to shrimp, knowing how to roll, break fall, because like in judo you break fall all the time so that you can get thrown. You can't really learn takedowns unless you know how to fall because you're scared you're going to hurt the person, which also explains why jiu-jitsu guys might not have the best takedowns. So like the basic movements I think are really important, and then the language of jiu-jitsu. Right. So if someone was like, hey, do a Granby, what's a shrimp? show me back control or north south. You're like, I don't know what that means. Like, what are we talking about? Even with the UFC being popular, it's some of these terms are just weird terms.
You know, it's funny. I have a funny story, right? So the last Naga, we had a guy who competed, and he's probably come to maybe 10 classes, right? And he doesn't even, he comes later, so he doesn't even have a chance to practice the technique. So maybe he'll do positional sparring and full, full rows.
Okay.
So he competed, right? So his first match, right? He's going at it, and then he's trying different stuff, and Maya was coaching him, right? So Maya goes, go for the single leg. I go, Maya, I don't think he knows what a single leg is. Because he doesn't come to class enough, right? I mean, again, the terminology, right? I mean, calling out specific terminology, it's worse because it's in a competition, so you can't say, okay, here's how you do the single leg, right? You can't break it down and show him, right? So again, yeah, you're right. The terminology, shrimping, break fall, turtle position, side control, half guard, all those kind of things. I mean, that's stuff that they're gonna need to learn. It's gonna, some stuff is intuitive, right? Like mount, okay, well, you're mounted on your back, but it's a generalization of a term, right? How do you, it goes beyond just the term, right? Now, I think the first 6 months, you're probably not gonna get some of the detail, but you can get some of the generalizations. Yeah.
One thing that confused me a lot was instructors didn't use standardized terms. Again, like there's no standardization. So like one person would call it like kesagatame, and one person would call it judo side control. And I'm like, what's the difference?
Right,
Wait, what's the difference? And then like, I'm trying to figure it out, but I'm too intimidated to ask what we're doing. What is that? Why is this and why is this that? And then we're throwing in like there's like Brazilian words and like Japanese words and English words. I'm like, man, I don't know. I'm twisting the arm, man. Like,
I don't even know how to time my belt yet. Like, come on.
Arm lock. Can we go with attacking the elbow or something? Like, so yeah, if you have, I'm gonna assume the person is at one gym, like standardized language for most of the terms. I think that matters for beginners, and you'll adapt as you grow.
I think a big part of what you said is also from the instructor standpoint to understand who's in the room, right? What kind of words do I use? I was talking to when we were at our previous gym, I was talking to this one girl, and she said, yeah, I kept saying going to headquarters, but I didn't know what it was. But I didn't want to ask, right? Because a lot of them are intimidated, right? They don't know. They don't want to be dumb and go, what does that mean, you know? Even you ask questions, nobody will answer. Or ask a question, right? So I think hopefully in the first 6 months you get to the point to understanding some of the terminology, and at least feeling comfortable to ask questions of maybe even someone in the class. Doesn't have to be the instructor, right? Okay.
So you're going from 6 months, now we're working to like end of white belt. You got your 3 or 4 stripes on there. What do you expect that person to have down at this point? Not even have down. What knowledge base do you think they should have?
I think one of the key things that I always look for is understanding how to train. Okay. Right? Like, I've seen people where it's just working technique where they're putting resistance. It's a brand new technique that everyone's trying to learn, and they're fighting them. I go, hang on a minute. You need to let him do the technique, right? When we spar or we do, a drill, like a positional drill, then it's different. But we're just learning the technique, like dial it back, you know. So understanding that piece. Also, when they are sparring, it's not, gladiators to the death, right? So I've had multiple conversations with people because they're going hard.
I don't want to lose.
It's like, and a lot of times it's just a big guy, and he doesn't really. I had a conversation with a guy a few months back, and he didn't even realize he was going that hard because he's just bigger, right? And he doesn't realize how hard he's going. So I like it when they understand before they go to blue how to go to class and train properly. I think that's important.
I like that.
Because again, it's a difficult conversation to have with somebody saying, "Hey, bro, you're going too hard. What you doing?" And they're like, "Well, what do you mean?" They don't understand it because no one has told them that you need to kind of dial it back some. Right?
Do you have a way you kind of say it to them nicely, or say it to them in a way that they'll get it without telling them they're going too hard?
So the easiest thing for me, right, is you see me, I'm old and small, right? If you go like that, I'm gonna break and I can't train anymore, right? We have women and children in the class, right? If you go that hard, you're gonna hurt them. The worst thing is once you hurt them, then they can't train. They're gonna be hurt, you're probably going to feel bad because you hurt them, right? So I try to make it so that it's not like, dude, what the hell are you doing? You're going so damn hard. You're going to kill somebody, right?
You know, send a mat enforcer on him. Go get him.
There have been times where that has come up, but it just stokes the fire, right? Because if someone's going hard against them, then they think I need to go harder, and it just keeps escalating, right?
Yeah.
So back in the UFC days, I had Kawhi. So Kawhi was somebody that would take care of people for me. And Kawhi can take, oh yeah, I got you, right? And he almost seemed like he enjoyed that. It didn't matter how big they were. He just took them down and just dismantled them.
I'm 17, I can do this.
But it's like, yeah, then it just sets a bad precedence because then now the guy looks for someone else and tries to go hard against someone else, right? It's like, okay, let's just draw the line here. Just kind of stop that.
Yeah, you go eye for an eye before you know that everyone's like pohada all the time.
Oh yeah. One of the other things that I've been talking to a few people too, right, is at least have like a little understanding of how to play off your back.
Ah, okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Because I think instinctively you can play on top.
Should be able to.
You know what I mean? Because you're on top, you're holding,
yeah.
you can smash, you can press or whatever, right? But once you're on your back, it's like, well, I'm literally a turtle on their shell. Like, what do I do? I'm lost, right?
Yeah.
So I've been coaching up a lot of the higher white belts and early blue belts. Like, you better get a guard before you hit purple.
Yeah.
You better be good at a guard before you hit purple. So now's your time. Your white belt, no one expects anything from you. Who cares? You get tapped, you get passed, swept.
Yeah, this is the best
every
time
single
of your
time.
life. Yeah.
Expectations are zero, right? You can do anything.
Yeah.
And you can just say, well, I'm a white belt, which is true.
Yeah.
I'm a total beginner. Once you're blue belt, okay, it's a little different.
Push a little bit.
You got a little color on your belt now, right? So now the white belt's gunning for you, right? Like now you got to have something that you can take, not handle the white belts, but you can hold your own, right?
I feel like when someone's approaching blue belt, if they're my student, if they're training under me, I like to actually put them under like more pressure in the gym leading up to like when I'm going to promote them to make sure they can still process information and think when they're on the bottom, when things aren't going their way. So I'll tell a couple guys in the gym like, hey, tonight, like put it on him. I'll let the guy know, like come hydrated, we're going to spar hard. We're just going to spar hard with him, he doesn't know that. But have him go with 3 or 4 guys really hard and just see how he performs under that pressure. Like, does he mentally quit? Is he gonna just go into like shell mode and not do anything versus like, hey, I'm gonna stay in this game, like I'm losing, but I'm still composed. I haven't lost yet. I like to see from a new guy who's freaking out using all his strength, burns his cardio in 2 minutes. I like to see a guy be able to stay in for whatever 3-4 rounds, even when nothing's going their way, and it's like, no, I'm still here. I'm still okay. Like I haven't lost yet. I have composure. I think that's kind of important as we move from like a transition from like a white to a blue. So not just the physical, but the emotional, mental
the
aspect.
mental aspect, yeah. I think that's important too. Yeah. I think as you progress, the more, the bigger your buy-in to jiu-jitsu, the more time you spend thinking, learning, talking about jiu-jitsu outside of class.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, right. Because if you're like like you're a higher belt and all you do is just go to class, I mean, you're not doing yourself any service. That's a disservice to yourself, right? Yeah. White belt I can kind of see, but white belts tend to go overboard and look at everything under the sun. Oh, did you see this new move? Oh, I saw this. Can you try this? Like, hey, hang on, let's just focus on the basics. We're still at white belt. Let's focus on basics first, right?
Forward roll first, right?
Yeah, let's get those things under our belt first, right? So white belt. Okay, so white belt. Okay, we're moving up to blue belt. Okay, so now we have a few stripes on our blue belt. Okay, now what are we thinking about from there?
So I like to say blue belt is like, you have the basics, you have the terminology, you're learning to speak the language, and you know how to move your body. So like if I show you a technique, you can mimic what I'm doing from that technique. At white belt, you're grabbing the wrong things, your hands are going your wrong places, your feet, you're trying to sweep someone and you're just kicking them off of you. Versus in blue belt, you can kind of emulate with some accuracy, like, hey, this is the fulcrum point where I'm going to turn you over. This is the point where I'm going to lift you up. Like I can feel it and see it and replicate it. I think for blue belt, it's that, and then finding a few techniques that you get good at. So opposed to being like white belt, you're probably not good at anything, but you know what they are. At blue belt, it's like, hey, maybe it's like the arm bar and the knee slice. Okay, cool. Well, I'm gonna get a good knee slice and a good arm bar, and I'm gonna be good at these things. Everything else is blue beltish, but those two things are not.
I'm
Those two
starting to
things,
elevate
they're
those.
purple or higher, you know.
Yeah, I think that's key to start to have some semblance of a game, so to speak, right? At blue belt. Yeah, white belt, you're still floundering. Blue belt, you're starting to build things, right?
Yeah.
I think it is important at blue belt to understand all the basic stuff that the white belt should already have, right?
For sure.
And I think sometimes it gets overlooked or bypassed, and it's not always the fault of the instructor. It's the student, right? Oh, this looks cool. Let me try these things, right? But you don't know how to frame and shrimp out of that position yet. Why are you trying to do something that's, a step above? It is good that you can attack that, but what happens when you're pinned and you're stuck? You don't know how to get out of it, right?
Yeah.
So I think the blue belt stages, right? So start to refining some of your techniques.
Would you teach escapes, or would you just expect them to reverse engineer the offense?
So for me and Carter, right, when we started, we were always the smallest guys, right? So we had to learn how to play guard. We had to learn to play on bottom and figure those things out and play that, right? I think we asked a lot of questions from that standpoint.
Okay.
I think a lot of times it was more attacking than escaping, right? I think it's a, I don't want to say it's an easier concept to get, but you know what I mean? There's more pieces involved, I feel, than like, get on top, smash him down chest to chest, pin his arm, and just Americana, this is awesome, right? I made him tap, but it's sexy, bro. What do you mean? Go on my back, shrimp, put my arms here, and then move my body this way. Like, that's not exciting.
It's not fun.
It's not exciting, right? And it's hard.
Yeah.
It's one of the harder, I think, guard retention is one of the harder skills to teach and learn.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's not something that comes easily or naturally. It takes a while, and I mean, I think I really only started to get good at it at a higher level, and I spent like 18 months trying to figure it out. So it took me a while.
This is after you've been training for a while.
I've been training for a while. Yeah, I've been training for a while, and it took me a long time to figure it out. I still have ways to go, but I feel like I got better at it. So blue belt.
I think, like, controversial statement, like, blue belts still don't know much, but they know enough to like go down that wrong path, right? It's like they think they know what they're doing. They don't even know they don't know, and then they go down the wrong path, and it's like you gotta keep bringing them back. Like, hey man, come back over here. Like, no, I want to learn this. Like, no, come back over here. Like, let's focus on this. Let's get you here. No, I got it. Like, are you tapping black belts with that yet? Because if you are, then you got it. But if you're just tapping a bunch of blue belts with it, like, you don't got it yet.
Yeah, I think.
I think it's the most dangerous for people. I think that's why we get a lot of people who quit.
I see a lot of the blue belt matches. Very explosive.
Yeah. It's fun to watch.
Yeah, they're very fun to watch. They're exciting. It's not like hold, wait, stall.
Blue belt Nogi is amazing.
Everyone's just flying around. I mean, like it's awesome. It's super dynamic. I love those matches. Those matches are awesome compared to 60-year brown belts. It's very slow.
Nothing happens.
Did they move? Like, what's happening there? Blue belts are flying all over the place. I love those. I love those matches. Those are exciting matches. Yeah, for sure. I think sometimes, to your point about thinking that they're going on the right path, is they have false sense of success because they're tapping other white belts, right, and maybe some blue belts. And we didn't even discuss the idea of, like, if you're training in a fishbowl, right? Right. So in that sense, right, you're tapping other blue belts, but maybe they're not where they need to be too, right? I mean, different schools have different structure of their curriculum and what they teach and what they approach. So,
and a room has only so many bodies. If there's no outliers there, you might just have a bunch of average people, which is totally fine. But you should venture out at some point where there's competition or going to open mats to kind of see where you stack up.
Realistically stand
on a bigger scale, right?
Yeah, because you could be 6 feet, 250 pounds, and everyone else in your school is under 5'10". And then what? Like, are you really that good? Or are you just like so much bigger than everyone else, right? It's just it's hard to say from that standpoint. For sure. Okay, so we're high blue belt now. We're nearing that stage where we can almost smell purple belt, right? Okay, so do you think that a measurement of where they're at is who they can submit?
No, definitely not.
Okay.
I think it would have to be in like a comparable physicality, age, size, everything else, gender, because those things start to matter. But like if I put 60-year-old Robin against any 225-year-old, like the odds that you tap this guy after 1 year of training, like if he just learns how not to get tapped and you guys go 100%, he's probably gonna hurt you.
Oh yeah,
you
for
know?
sure.
Like, and it has nothing to do with jiu-jitsu, it's just like physics and mass moving, and he's probably got twice your cardio. You could train every day, he could show up hungover, like he's 25 and 200 pounds, like there's not much you can do about it. So back to the subjectivity of the belts, like you have to take into consideration the person and then like what is their max potential, because some people they're never going to be the best ever. I mean, none of us are going to be the best ever except one or two of us, right? But like if you have to tap those belts to get there, we would say what Tynan is number one, and if you can't tap Tynan, you can't be a black belt. So there'd be one black belt, and then number two is like, I don't know, whoever you want to throw in there. And if you can't tap him, then that's the only brown belt. So yeah, there's definitely a sliding scale as far as that goes.
I guess too. So we never talked about this topic, right? Is that I guess there's the category of hobbyist, right?
Okay.
Like it's kind of a dirty. I don't know if it's a dirty word, but Carter doesn't like me using that word hobbyist, right? That's hobbyist, like whatever. But I mean, there's some people that are just there to be part of the environment.
Yeah.
Like I've known people that they've got like honorary belts. Like they're not really at that level, but they got promoted to the belt.
They're coming for other aspects of jiu-jitsu, and it's not just can I beat you up,
right?
Like the social aspect is important. The mental aspect,
the fitness,
of it.
Right?
Like, hey, I have some friends I like hanging out with. You're injured, you come to the gym just to see your friend. This is your social network now, right? If you're instructing, I mean, it also could be your income.
Yeah, you're right.
There's a lot of things that are not just the grappling side of jiu-jitsu, and you can't tell me some of these guys who are older that can't perform anymore don't have a mind that's incredible. I would take Hickson in my corner every day of the week.
Oh yeah.
You know, but like, can he do it now? I highly doubt it. I heard his back problems are bad, right?
Body's bust up already, yeah. Where do you slot in time spent training in jiu-jitsu? How do you factor that piece in, right? Because I'll be honest with you, right? The previous gym we were at, they did use a number of classes you attended, right? And it wasn't the only thing that dictated whether you got a stripe or you got promoted, but it was one of the things, right? So, I mean, you know, like Moneybird, right? Or whatever the heck that dude, he paid a bunch of people and he got a black belt, right? And I don't think he spent 10, 12 years training jiu-jitsu.
Oh, okay,
right?
so rich guy comes up to you, he's like, yo, I want to be a black belt. What's your price?
I don't even know that I could have put a
I
price
don't know,
on it.
man. You give me a cool $2 million, I'll give you a black belt right now. I'll sign it off, certified.
So, I mean, it's
cash untraced. I'm in.
It's principles too. It's principles too, though. You know, I mean, to me, it's a nice round number. Don't get me wrong, but man, I don't know. Does you know, like BJ, right? BJ got his so quickly, right? Yeah. But he trained hard, and he was in Brazil, and he won against Brazilians.
He won worlds. Right?
Yeah, like I mean, I feel he's legit. That's legit, right?
3 years black belt, he won worlds.
But
you can't.
I mean, you know, like I don't know, that dude. Did he even roll professionally, or did he even roll with anybody, right? Or aside from the instructors, like, how do we gauge that?
So like counterpoint, when someone asks you how long you've trained, what do you answer in?
How long we've trained?
How long you've trained?
A little over 10 years.
Everyone says years, right? So in those 10 years, how much of those years would you say were like serious, full-time, all you did was jiu-jitsu versus like hobbyist?
Yeah, I think majority I would have to qualify as a hobbyist, right? Because I'm not like a professional jiu-jitsu athlete that trains 2-3 times a day, eat, sleep, drink jiu-jitsu. I have a life. I have a job.
I started jiu-jitsu 16 years ago. I have about 2 full years where I trained like it was the only thing I had in life going on. And at the time, it was pretty much the only thing in life I had going on. I went from like the worst guy in the gym to like tapping black belts in 1 year. And everyone's like, no, it's not possible. But I treated it like a job. All I did was train. The only thing that would get me to not train would be it was daytime and there was surf, like good surf. And I would still go to the night class. And I was younger and I had a lot of free time. I had very little responsibilities. And then later in life, I wanted to see how good I could get, and I went and traveled and was like, I'm gonna go train with like the best people I can possibly train with. And again, I just spent 1 year like, I'm just gonna get as good as possible. Outside of that, like, not a lot of training. But when someone asks, 16 years, you must be cool. I'm like, well, there's some guys that's been training for 5 that I'm pretty sure they have more mat time total than I have.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about this, right? Look at the kids that been training since they're 5.
Yep.
And now they got what, 12 years?
Yep.
15 years?
Yep.
Like,
you're not gonna catch them.
And nowadays they homeschool.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
They homeschool.
Yep.
So they train multiple times a day. The parents fly them to tournaments all over the world.
Yep.
They get private sessions, like the kids that train at AOJ. I mean, they're training with
AOJ's a gym full of those
the
kids.
highest level guys that are competing. Like, can you imagine if you were one of the kids there now and you were growing up in that, and like where you could be in 10 years?
Yep.
Say you started at like 6 or 7 years old, in 10 years where you could be just going hard at it with those guys. It's insane to me.
Yeah.
That's why you see all these 18, 19-year-old, 20-year-old black belts bossing
Absolute
people up now.
Monsters. Yeah.
It's crazy.
You see green belts doing it, and you're like, it's a green belt. Like, I ain't a green belt. Like, you're a green belt because you ain't old enough.
Yeah, that's all it boils down to. Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's hard. Like, time matters, but then there's outliers. There's people that train like crazy. There's people that just naturally get it. So again, subjectively, it goes back to the individual person.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. I mean, and like we started it off, right? Everyone's going to have their own opinion. So whoever's running their academy has already had in their mind, okay, this is what I see. It makes him a blue belt, purple belt, brown belt, black belt, right? I have a vision, and that's what it's going to be. And it may not line up with anyone else, but I don't really care because it's my school, right?
Okay, so we're going to go to purple belt. What do you think? Like, okay, I'm going to promote this guy to purple belt. What are the factors that would put you to like, that guy's a purple belt? Brand new purple belt. He deserves purple belt.
So purple belt, right? So I think, so at the blue belt level, right? You have a couple techniques that you're good at. Okay, so now I think at purple belt you've expanded some, right? So now you have not just a technique, but you have some sequences that you can use, that you can see, you can envision. Okay, from here, I know he's going to do this. So I'm going to be in front of him.
You have an actual game. Okay.
I've built a semblance of a game. I'm not like as detailed as like a high level black belt competitor, but I'm starting to figure it out. I know that my legs are short and I'm small, so I'm going to play half guard. And I'm going to get you there. I'm going to John Wayne sweep you, right? I'm going to kimura you. I'm going to do those kind of things, right? I recognize that. Recognize the limitation of my physical limits, right? My legs are long. I'm going to play spider guard on you. I'm going to get you in triangles, and I'm looking for those setups, right? So I'm not just going to go straight to the prize. I'm going to trick you and make you think I'm going there, but I'm going here. Right, so start to adding a little bit of deception to your game, right? And of course all the basic other stuff, right, that we've built upon to this point. I think that, and not everyone's a competitor, I get it, right? But I've always tried to push people to compete. You think competition can dictate where you're at within the scale?
I think it's a honest, if you compete semi-regularly, it's an honest look at where you're at right now in comparison to like your environment. So let's say a state tournament, right? Like you're gonna know, say you do 4 or 5 tournaments. How did those results go? If you lost every match, you're probably a little behind. If you won everything, like you just kind of ran through everybody, tapped everyone, ran out the score, like you're probably ready for the next bout. If you're kind of somewhere in the middle, you're probably somewhere in the middle. I hit some podiums, first couple seconds, some of them I lost in the first round. It's the easiest objective way to figure out where you're at. But again, it's not everything, it's not necessary. So again, I don't know, man, opinion. I think it's good. I think everyone should try and compete at least twice. I say that all
what
the time.
I've always been telling people is competition is good because it sets you in a certain mindset for training. For the preparation, right? Because when you compete, you don't want to do junk, right? You can train hard, you can push yourself. The other thing is, in competition, there's no way to replicate that in class. Right? So your habits or your tendencies, good, bad, or otherwise, will show in the competition. So now you can adjust your game accordingly, right? And you have video of it. So your coach or another senior student can break it down, and you can figure out where you're at. So I always feel competition is important. So I get it. Some people are not competitive in nature. They get nervous. They get stage fright, whatever. I said, just try it. You know.
I think of it like this. So if you were going to school and there were no tests, what's your motivation to learn? Some people like learning. There are people that like they would still be straight A students without the test. A lot of us, we'd probably be like goofing off, class clowning. Man, I brought some snacks. You know, like I picked up some knowledge here. Like I learned some chemistry, but I didn't really get good at it. Versus, hey, there's a test at the end of the semester to see what you learned. All that competition is a test, and it gives you the like, hey, I want to get better, and I can see, did I get better? And that's why I recommend people compete. And I get all the other arguments against it, you know, cost and time and energy and you know, injury stuff like that. But it's like, if this was school and there was no test, I would probably be nowhere near as good because I wouldn't have anything to like force me, motivate me. I
no
guess.
real way to measure where you're really at.
Yeah. But I also very much enjoy competing. So.
Yeah, I've competed, as you know my story. I competed too, so I enjoy it. It does feel better when you win.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I do a lot of like, I think I actually hate losing more than I like winning. So a lot of my training is like train hard because I don't want to feel the feeling of losing.
You know, it's ironic. I was just listening to a podcast. The guy was saying exactly the same thing. I hate losing.
I hate losing.
So when I lose, I'm miserable. When I win, okay, whatever. What's next?
Yeah.
Like you just keep moving on, right?
Yeah.
You don't like go off and celebrate and make this huge big deal about, okay, we won. Okay, on to the next one. If you lose, God damn it.
I like the fire. Like if I set a goal, I like to tell people, maybe not everybody, but like, you know, the people close to me, I'll tell them this is my goal, even if it's not jiu-jitsu, like, oh, I want to do this, I want to do that. Because people will start asking you about it. People will, hey, how's that thing going? And it's like, I got to get on this, like I'm slacking. But if I keep it to myself and I have this goal, even if it's a, you know, small goal, big goal, like that little bit of motivation, like, man, didn't you say you were going to do this? Like, I'm working on it, guys. Like, I'm working on it. I like that.
Extra motivation.
Little pressure, little motivation. And there's definitely been times where I came up short, not just jiu-jitsu, but like in life. And it was like, man, you know what? I tried my best and I didn't succeed. And in all honesty, like the people that matter to me, my family, my friends, like they all still love me. They all still treat me exactly the same, I think, as if I would have succeeded. And I think that's a good thing.
One of the other things I think at purple belt, right? I think you should be kind of at a level where you feel comfortable helping others.
Yeah, right? Starting to learn how to teach.
Yes. Yeah. I think some schools, at blue belt level, but I think blue belt you're still kind of not really on solid ground yet.
Yeah.
But purple belt you should kind of have some things that you know really well.
Talking about mid to late purple belt.
Yeah, that you can start showing people, and you can start teaching them. And I know not everybody's goal is to become a coach, but you should have something in you that you want to help others, right? Yeah. That's one of the things that always drove me and Carter, that we recognized when we were lower belts, people helped us. Yeah. So as we elevated, we try to help people that were below us, right? So that mindset of continuing to give back, right? Yeah. Because what's the sense of me hoarding all this information? When I'm gone, what? I hoard it to myself and then it's gone. Yeah. But if I share it, then it just starts to spread out, right? I share one person, he shares with one person, then boom. It's all over the place.
Your jiu-jitsu moves to the next person, and you move to the next person. Yeah, well, that's really important.
Yeah, because we started coaching at the last school at purple belt.
Okay.
Yeah, so we started with the kids program.
You were running your own classes, classes?
We started running kids classes towards the ending of purple, I think.
Okay, that's about right.
Right, about ending of purple,
that's about right.
Yeah, for sure brown, but I think ending of purple.
Did you have any background in teaching?
So, basically, from the standpoint of jiu-jitsu, I attended so many classes. I understood the structure and the format of how they taught it, so I was able to teach that. Right? But go ahead. No, go ahead.
Did you have any like not jiu-jitsu side, but like this is how people learn, or this is like the learning basics? These are the philosophies of learning, things like that.
Not really. I mean, I was a supervisor, right? So I mean, I had to help people, but not to the point where I was like an educator. Or that from that standpoint, right? I never really did that. I think a lot of our stuff was trial and error. So before we actually started officially teaching classes, we'd come early and tell some kids, hey, come early, we'll go help you.
Test some stuff out.
And we knew like one or two things that we could do kind of good.
Yeah.
So we showed it to them. Ironically, they still use some of that stuff.
Good.
But that's where we cut our teeth, right? Helping
Yeah.
people before officially teaching a class. And then before we actually took over the classes, Chris would let us teach.
Okay.
And kind of monitor.
Show like one
and then
thing or something.
Show us one thing,
Yeah.
and then even he would just sit back and then kind of give us feedback
good.
and
That's
input.
really good.
So he kind of helped nurture
Yeah.
us to grow and to become comfortable with teaching, right?
I think as the head instructor, if you have people coming up as instructors, you've got to give them the opportunity to do it. Not just tell them they're going to do it, but give them the opportunity.
Yeah.
That's really good. That's good.
Yeah.
To hear.
So that was at like higher purple belt where we started doing that.
You have some age, and like you said, you were a supervisor somewhere, so you had some like how to lead people and manage people. I think for the younger instructors that don't have that life experience, like taking courses on just how to teach, how to
Right.
learn, like learning fundamentals, goes a really long way, because you can see like there's different styles of learning, there's different things, and there's steps that are very distinct in how people go through it. If you can identify that, you can accelerate someone's acquisition of knowledge
Right.
very fast with just like couple weeks of studying, learning.
Even for us, right, as parents, like we raise kids, right? So we have to understand how to teach
Yeah.
our kids stuff. So it kind of came
Yeah.
a little natural because we started with kids too,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So we're able to help kids. Yeah.
We'll go back to purple belt. So when I said blue belt was learning how to use your body, for me, purple belt is learning how to use your opponent's body. So we're saying like, yeah, I want them to have a game. I want to funnel them into like these techniques that I'm good at. I want my purple belts to have like one or two techniques that like are black belt level. And when I say that, like, say it's like your rear naked choke. If I start you on the guy's back, you could choke him. You know, not necessarily you can get to the black belt's back, but if I start you there, like you have a decent shot of tapping black belts. But now, like, you know how to use your body, you know how to move. If I show you something, you can copy me right off the bat. You also understand what you're doing to your opponent. So like, if I take this grip, or if I turn your head this way, like what am I doing? Like, what is my opponent feeling? Why does this technique work? And that why, to me, really starts to show they understand Jiu-Jitsu, as opposed to they can just do it. Which would also be like the second step of learning. It's like actually understanding what's going on and then correlating it to be able to do it with something else. So if you have one black belt level technique, I can, hey, when I do this move, I can correlate it to this move, and I can just transfer a lot of those skills over. And those would be like the step 2 and 3 of learning. That's how I was going to transition into this. But when I have a purple belt, like, you need a black belt level move, preferably 2. When you get your purple belt, you need to have a game. You need to understand what's going on with your opponent's body. Because if you have those things, your learning has gone past just memorizing, memorization of techniques. You understand what's going on, and then you can transfer that skill to something else. I think once we hit that phase of like, they can move skills from one thing to another, now we're like, hey, you're on the right path. You're almost at the point where like, you got this down, and it can be a hands-off from here, because you hear the purple belt's like a black belt in any other, whatever, blah, time into it. Did you learn it at a pace that you can now transfer your learning, correlate it to another skill, and then use it somewhere else? So that would be my purple belt standard.
I don't know if it would be high purple belt or like some brown belt, is being able to troubleshoot different situations, right?
Yeah.
When you're in a bad spot, right? You understand how to either move your body, have your opponent move in a certain way, to, like, if you're attacking my leg, right, I'm not going to panic, right? I understand the mechanics of what you're attacking me with and how I reverse and deconstruct whatever you're attacking me with, whatever guard I'm in, right?
Right.
So that deconstruction, the troubleshooting piece of it, right? To your point, the rote memorization thing is gone now already. That should be not even part of your game.
Yeah.
Your body should just be almost like on autopilot. It just moves without thinking, right? And I oftentimes tell the lower belts, the reason I got you, because you stopped to think. You know that split second where they're like, what should I do? Boom, I got you.
You see the loading signal in their face. Thanks.
So as soon as you eliminate that, then I'm going to have a lot harder time.
Yes.
You're thinking about it. Your body's just not reacting, or you're not be able to just get those things dynamically on the fly. You're still thinking about, oh shoot, his hand is here, so what should I do? Your hand's here, boom, I just take it off, right? Boom, you're just moving instinctively, just you know the body knows what to do
Yeah.
already. I
Yeah.
don't know if that's. I guess you could start getting some of that purple belt too, but
Yeah.
maybe more so, maybe brown belt where you really have it. Yeah.
Yeah, you should have it by brown belt.
Yeah.
So we're gonna say we got all the way through mid purple belt, high purple belt. Brown belt, black belt's like hard to like. This is what the standard is. This is what you think it should be. What are your thoughts? Brown belt, putting on a brown belt, like good purple belt, high level purple belt. What makes them a brown belt?
You know, it's kind of hard for me to say exactly from that standpoint. I think it's just like if I'm at this for all the things, the skill levels I have at purple belt, I'm here. I'm like, I've just increased a layer above. You know what I mean? I don't know that I have something that would be something that I don't have yet that I've added.
Okay.
So I've leveled up a little bit more in all generalized areas, right? Troubleshooting, the game plan, the skill set, right?
Instead of those 2 black belt techniques, you have multiple. Like you have like 5 or 6 techniques, and you're like, yeah, I could hit this on guys.
Yeah, yeah.
We're gonna throw teaching, be able to teach as a brown belt, or at least like thinking about teaching.
I think brown belt, you should be comfortable showing techniques
Okay.
and having an in-depth knowledge beyond just put your hand here, grab this, and then do this, right? Why am I grabbing this, right? Why would I hold this?
I like
and what
that.
are the 3 reactions that the person's going to give me when I do this?
Yeah.
Right? Because now you have a broader knowledge of what's going to happen, right?
Yeah.
It's not just, okay, grab his arm, pull it, and then you're going to get this.
Yeah.
Well, what if he's stronger than me and I can't pull it, right? And then that's one of the examples you're going to give. If you pull and he doesn't do it, then you do this,
Yeah.
right? So you have a better understanding of you know, the reactions, the explanations, why you do different things. I think too, at least for me and Carter, when we hit brown belt, we did a lot more studying and watching videos.
Self-motivation.
Yeah, pushing harder to get better, trying to add different things to stuff that we already knew. We're pretty good at stuff, but hey, let's add a little bit more. Let's add a new dimension, right? We didn't feel like, oh, we're at brown belt, so we reached this area. I'm just gonna ride out the next X number of years, and I'm gonna get my black belt.
Well, you should never feel like that ever. When you're your black belt, you should never feel like that either.
Right. But I mean, but I do know some people that kind of get to that point, like, okay, I've plateaued here. Like, okay, just bide my time. Okay, I'm on 4 stripes. Pretty soon, it's gonna happen, right?
Okay,
Yeah.
good point. Good point.
And again, that is just me personally, right? Other people, maybe they feel the same, maybe they don't.
I think in life you should never. Whole other conversation. Anyway, back to jiu-jitsu.
Yeah. Again, to your point about knowing your body, knowing your opponent's body, knowing how you move, understanding where they're gonna move, setting up a trap 3 steps in advance, 4 steps in advance versus 1 step. Okay, I push, he pushes back, then I do this, right? Push, he pushes back, then I do this, then I do this, and then this happens, right? So now you've again added another layer upon your game, right, of what you're trying to do. Right?
Have you mind mapped most of your game? You have kind of a like, if this did that type of scenarios.
It's kind of funny you say that, right? So when we first started working with Shayna, right, I think she used Etsy or something, and then she had this huge old flow chart. This. I said, no,
I think Shayna has a Dewey Decimal System.
she's like,
She goes through her card.
I was like, oh man, I don't think I can do that. And how would you even remember how to do that? Like, can you imagine, like, oh, he's here. Oh.
She is so organized. I think she has a whole library full of if this then that.
Yeah. But for me, I think there are techniques that I'm good at, that I like to go to, that I have a general idea how people will react.
Okay.
So to your point, I kind of do, but it's not like very detailed, like, okay, I'm gonna attack this one sequence, or if I do this, and this, if then this, else, whatever, I don't have it that deep.
Do you think that hurts or helps when you get somebody that doesn't do one of your known reactions?
I don't know that it matters that much. I think it does help me to grow.
Okay.
I like when people do things that are unexpected,
Okay.
because it forces me to think differently, right?
Okay.
And it does help me to grow. I wish I was organized and I had it all in my head and I could react accordingly. But again, remember, I'm a little bit older than you, so the memory space is kind of limited in there. I gotta remember where I live and my wife's name. I gotta there's certain things I kind of let go of. You know? I gotta keep
Anniversaries.
that stuff up here, right? The jiu-jitsu stuff kind of fills up the little gaps.
Smart man. I think there are people. So like I would use Shayna as a good example of that. I think there are certain people that can mind map like just tons of stuff and they can recall it fast enough. I'm not one of those people. I have more of a like it works because of this. If you lose this, then move on to the next thing that makes something else work. That's more so how I've trained, and I can process that real time. I think the majority of like average to below average, mental processing people would probably do better training like that, because mind map is hard.
It's hard,
But
yeah.
if you have that ability, because like I would say like Gordon Ryan has that ability. Like he always has an answer, and it's always the best answer. It's like, well, if you could do it, definitely do it.
Yeah, because what was I gonna say? From that standpoint, right? So when we talk about game plan, right? So if you have a game plan, that's you're gonna be approaching that way. But then there's another approach to say, well, I'll react to what they do, right? But at a certain level, you can't do that. Like white belt, you don't have enough answers. I think even blue purple belt, I don't know that you have enough answers to just go in and just not have a game plan. Okay, he pulls guard, then I'll do this, or maybe I'll do this, right? I'm not sure what I'm gonna do.
No.
I'm gonna do something, but I'm gonna wait till he does something, right?
I don't like that plan.
I don't like that
like that
plan
plan.
because no one has every answer to every scenario, right?
Yeah.
But I was listening to somebody that talked about that, where if you're reactive, at a certain level, you may be able to address it, right? I was listening to this one podcast where the guy says, yeah, I have this basic skill set. I don't train a lot. He's a black belt. But whatever new guard they come up with, I have a general idea how to deconstruct it because I just use my fundamental basic approach to it because he's good at it, right?
Right.
He's at that level. He's not a competitor. He's not, I think it's BJJ mental models. That's what the guy said.
Okay.
I just react and I'm comfortable. I don't care if they come up with XYZ guard. I know how to deal with it. I don't know that I'll ever get to that level. It would be nice, but I don't think that's realistic, right?
I think it would also depend on who you're sparring with. Like if you put somebody that's not exceptional at that, like you just say you're good at it, but you're not like one of the rare talents like that. You put them in a room where everyone's professional level still, they may change their tune. Versus you put them in a room that's not that quite high level. Like if you're better than everybody or better than most of the people there, you can probably get away with it. Like if I put you in a room full of white belts, you could probably get away with just not even worrying about it.
Right.
Because like you're better than them. But if I put you in a room of professionals right now, you'd be like, man, just like it doesn't matter what you show up with, it's not going to make a difference.
It's not going to work. Yeah.
I like to see what people do, so I'll give people quite a bit of leeway until like they start really like just trashing me. Like, okay, I got to stop this, because I like to see how people set things up. And sometimes it backfires. But in tournaments, like definitely not. Tournaments, I'm going to impose my will. I'll come in with a definite strategy or at least a goal. Like if the goal isn't like something definite, it's like I want to hit this technique at least once. Regardless of winning or losing, I still want to hit that technique. Unless we're at the end and I have a chance to win the match, I'll go and try and win it. But I always come with some sort of plan.
Yeah, because I always ask the competitors, the people that go to concept, I ask them, as it leads up to competition, what's your game plan? What are you going to try to do? Very basic. You're going to pull guard or you're going to take down? You have to do one of them. Well, not have to, but I mean, there's not many other options, right? You take down, pull guard, or get taken down, right? I mean, like there's three options, right? What are you going to do? And when they say, I don't know, well, you better think about what you're going to do. You can't just go up there and just stand there and just wait, right? So, yeah, having approached, especially in a competition scenario, you have to understand, you have to know what you're going to do, right? And I only started thinking about that in the last few years when I started competing. Before I was just like, okay, I'll show up, I'll just have some fun, do some jiu-jitsu, right? Get wrecked by everybody, but it's okay. I got my participation medal. I'll go home and put it with all the other bronze and silvers because no one else, there's no two guys in my bracket, right? But then once I started to look at the competition differently, right, having a plan, then I wasn't put in a situation that I didn't know how to deal with for the most part because I was the aggressor. I was doing what I wanted to do versus trying to react to what they were doing to me, right?
Do you think a brown belt then should be able to help other people organize their plans and build their strategies? So like you're a brown belt, you're working with some blue belts. You know their game well enough that you can like, hey, I suggest you do this.
Yes, I 100% believe that they should be able to do that. it helps. I mean, I can't imagine that some guy goes to a different school and teaches somebody, but within your own school,
your
right?
gym, yeah.
With your other team members, you're with them 2, 3, 4, 5 times a week.
Yeah.
You should start to understand and help them, right? And feel, not like you owe it to them, but kind of like you want to help them, right? Because you have the advanced knowledge that they don't have, and you can see the mistakes that they're making, right? So a lot of times after class, after positional sparring or rows, if I see something that one of my teammates is doing, I'll tell them, hey, by the way, when in this position, maybe you should try these things, right? So I'll go out of my way to help them, right? So again, kind of that mentorship of the lower belts, right, to help them progress. Yeah,
it's a good environment to train in.
It's Maya's built a good school out there. There's a good vibe, and everybody's really trying to help each other out to progress.
Cool on there.
So I think it's good that those people there are willing to take our input, because I've been in situations where people were resistant, and I didn't give up easily. But after like 3, 4 times, Carter said, "Dad, why do you keep trying?" They're not listening. I go, I know, but I mean, these guys are my friends, I want to help them, but they don't want to listen. So like after a while, I realized there's so many people in the room that could benefit from help.
Yeah.
So if the person doesn't want to listen, I just move on to the next person, right? So
can't help someone that doesn't want to be helped.
Yeah, if I feel resistance, or I get the sense like, oh, you don't know what you're talking about. They may not say it, but body language
You get the vibe.
speaks loud, right?
Cool.
Like, all right, okay. I don't take it personally. I go, I'll get it. We all on our own path. So if you see a better path for yourself, then all right. If you have questions in the future, you're welcome to ask me.
Yeah.
But I'll go help someone else because I can see they're struggling, right?
Good. I think that's the right way to handle it.
So brown belt brown belt
Mentorship.
mentorship.
Okay.
And to your point of even being able to lead classes, teach classes, having deep enough knowledge to comfortably teach class, have questions asked, and answer them. Because a lot of times.
Yeah. Answer questions on the
what
fly.
What about this?
Answer questions on the fly.
So it's funny because Chris taught me this little trick, right? When they ask a question, show me what you mean. So it gives you a little time to think, right? Okay, when I'm here, I do this. Okay, maybe you should try this or whatever.
I like show me because it's easier to see it.
Instead of you trying to visualize, like
that's what we're talking about. Okay, cool.
Yeah, and then I was able to answer questions like that. The first time someone asked me, I didn't know what to say. I said, I don't know, I don't do that. And he said, no, you can't say that.
Yeah.
You have to answer the
question. Pictures worth 1,000 words, videos worth 1,000 pictures. Like, I want to see it. I want to, what are we talking about? We can break this down. Show me, I want to see it 2 or 3 times, different angles. Okay, here's what I think. Here's what I think is going on.
Do you think that someone's personality has an impact on what belt they have?
This is where I was going to go with everything. How do we finish the conversation? Okay, so blue belt is like the everyone quits belt, right? There's always a joke. Blue belt, you go quit, you go do your own regular life. Purple belt is like the we get lost belt, because I think there's an attachment or like a representation of the gym once you move beyond purple. Does your morality and your personality, does that all matter? Because if you're just a jerk, if you're just like cranking arm bars on white belts and kicking ducks across the street and stuff, like, I don't want you to be attached to the gym, to my name. This is going to be even more so in black belt. But like, should it matter? Does it matter? I think, again, like if I had a young person that just wanted to be a professional grappler, does he need to teach? Like, it's hard because, like, what if the skill's there? What if the skill's undeniably there?
Yeah, right? You're right. Like, they're like a prodigy or something.
This kid's been tapping black belts since year 2, and he's the best purple belt in 5 states around us. He's medaling at Worlds. It's like, you can't say he doesn't deserve it.
Right.
But like, what if he's a jerk?
That's
right. And I think, like, I was military. I had a lot of friends that got stuck at purple belt because instructors didn't want to put their name on the guy because he was only there for a couple years. And they're like, then 2, 3 years later, they move, they go somewhere else, right? They're getting deployed. They don't have enough time. I had friends that were purple belts forever. I have friends that are still purple belts. And it's like, no one wanted to put their name on the guy. And the guy was a solid human. I think that personality, morality, values, I think it all starts to matter because you're attaching your name to that person.
Right.
So yes, it should, but I don't have an answer for in what capacity.
Yeah, because I mean, I guess if we're talking about pure jiu-jitsu skills, it's one piece, right?
Yeah.
The person as a human being is another piece, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, you could be a purple, brown, black belt, but you're not a purple, brown, black belt as a human, right? And from that standpoint.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think because I've never been an owner of a school or I've run a school, I don't know how that would impact me from the standpoint of knowing that this guy's not the nicest guy, do I promote him to a black belt? Yeah. Knowing that he's gonna be, my name's attached to his black belt now, right?
It's always gonna be Robin's black belt.
Yeah.
Oh, that guy, he's the one that did this, he did that.
Yeah, that's kind of tricky.
Yeah.
It's kind of tricky.
But what if he's like the best guy? Best you've ever seen. Dominant, not even close. There's no excuses. He's just better than everybody.
I mean, like, I don't know. And then, I mean, because the other thing too, right? You could have somebody that's really good and somehow they go off the rails, right? And they just have mental issues and then, other problem areas that pop up. Like, I mean, you can't predict that, right? Yeah. So when you're here, obviously, I don't think I would promote you, but when you're here, I mean, you look like a good guy and okay, let's move you up. And then you're here and like, oh shoot, he's tied to me now. Like,
if I know that.
What? But we can't predict the future, right?
The other thing I think that factors in is like social media is weird now. I think a lot of people are not like they're a character in social media for popularity, and you need popularity to be marketable. They might not pick something that aligns with you. They might be that loud, boisterous, like in your face person. They may be the nicest person outside of it, but that's what they choose to do to get their matches, to get popularity, to get the sponsorships. And then the guy and they're like super chill. They're like, no, I just did it for the show. Like, but you're so attached to your name that everyone thinks, oh, but that's the guy.
Yeah, it's like wrestling, right?
Wrestling.
Like WWE.
Yeah. If you're the heel.
Yeah, but that's not, I'm playing a part, right?
Right.
Like anything else, right? Yeah, I'm not sure. I guess if I'm the school owner and the guy has a skill level, I mean, I'd probably talk to them, maybe see what I could do to just have a conversation like, hey, by the way, I'm going to give you this, we want to promote you to this belt. You understand what it means, you're representing me moving forward, I can't have you going out and, being a jerk and like you said, doing stuff that's going to mar our school, right? Because you're not only representing me, you're representing the whole school, right? Yeah. So even if it's like a Gracie Baja or Cavarinia, now it's a bigger organization, right?
Yeah,
now it's big, Alliance or whatever. Now it's big.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. It's a tough one.
Yeah, we have no answer for this one.
Yeah.
So I think brown and black, right? Not a huge distinction.
I don't think. Yeah.
You got to do your min time if you're going to do the IBJJF standard. Other than that, is there any big factor you would say?
I don't know if it's like, because a lot of people, again, right, I hear a lot of podcasts where the black belt is supposed to be black belt in jiu-jitsu, and somehow people look at me as a black belt in life, right? But that's not the reality, right? I mean, everyone has flaws, I get it, even white belts have flaws, but you know what, from that standpoint, right, do you, especially if you're an owner of a school or the head professor, do you need to elevate your persona to match, to be a good guy, and because now or is it okay if you're just like, you produce like monster killers out of your school and you're always winning medals and you're like awesome but you're still like not a nice guy? Is that
law of averages? There's got to be some not so good people that are black belts.
Yeah, that's true.
Right? There has to be. I mean, we're seeing some crazy stuff happen right now, but there's probably some other like not that extreme. They're just not really great people that are black belts. Right.
Yeah, I don't know that there's any real. The one thing that I found interesting, I heard it I listened to a lot of podcasts, as you go through each belt, you always get tested, right? Normally, there's a promotional thing to signify when you've reached the next level, right?
Okay. Yep.
But a black belt, you just put in years of service, basically.
Your service.
Yeah.
You're talking about for your degrees.
Yeah.
And, your stripes. Okay.
And not saying that it's wrong, but it's just interesting.
Yeah.
Right? And maybe they feel that you've reached the first level of the mountaintop. So from there, you're just adding onto it as
You should
as
be
you continue
continually
on.
improving.
Yeah. But it doesn't necessitate you to be continually pushing yourself forward to get the next stripe, right?
I have friends, and you know who you are. I have friends that show up just when it's time for promotion. They don't train anymore. They're dealing with life issues, or
Yes,
injuries,
yes.
and things like that. They don't study jiu-jitsu or anything, but like they have stripes. They show up to all the promotions and stuff like that. Again, right? Like there's different reasons to be in jiu-jitsu.
Right.
I don't know if I totally agree with it. But there is something to say, like you've been here a long time.
True.
So I'm not really sure.
It's true.
On the degrees for black belt.
Because I mean, on average, 8, 12 years, somewhere around there, you hit black belt. That's a significant amount of time to invest. I mean, they always talk about it takes longer to get to that than like a doctor, right? So that's a lot of
I
time.
don't like how you have to have so many degrees to promote to black belt. I feel like that would be like an effort thing, because the argument was you couldn't evaluate someone at a black belt level, but there are great grapplers with tons of knowledge that don't have their 2 stripes that I know for a fact can evaluate you at a black belt level or not. But they got to go talk to someone else to be like, hey, can I promote this guy? So I don't know if I agree with that, but they needed to figure something out.
Yeah.
So they just went with something.
I guess it's, and again, as we initially started, right, there's no real standard. Everyone's going to have a different opinion.
Yeah.
Like the striping process and what dictates when you get a next stripe, like number of classes. I saw you do some technique in class. You're consistently elevating your game.
Do you treat it as a martial art or a sport? I mean, a lot of factors.
Yeah.
I would say the one thing for me, if you're going to go from brown belt to black belt, you have to be able to teach. You have to be able to run a class, run a curriculum, unless you are an active competitor. And I wouldn't want to hold someone back in their physical prime from the shot, like a black belt world championship or something like that, where like the black belt's the only thing that's stopping them from competing at that level. If I felt like you were good enough to hang at that level, I would give you that black belt, go out there, knock this out, get however many years you can when you're still in your physical prime, when you still have actual realistic opportunity to do it, and then we'll talk about the teaching. But everybody else, everybody else, I don't really think, I'm not really going to push that, or I'm just, I'm 35 years old, I'm already past the point where like it's a realistic goal. Like, you have to be able to not just like teach a move, but like run a class, run a curriculum, like be able to put together like this is what we would do for the month, this is what we do for a 3-month period, things like that.
Yeah.
As opposed to a brown belt, it'd be like run a class.
Fill in when there's a need, right?
I would require black belts to be able to run a curriculum. Non-active competitors.
Non-active, yeah.
And then also learn about cornering.
Yeah.
That's a whole nother.
Yeah. That's definitely
learn how to corner.
That's definitely a skill. I mean, I don't even know how you train for something like that. Aside from actually going to a tournament, sitting in the chair, and trying to coach somebody through it, and having somebody critique it later on. You know, sometimes, because Carter and I will record whatever matches we coach, right? And sometimes we'll listen to what we were saying. Why did you say that? Or why didn't you say this, right? So, or even sometimes I'll record my coaching so I can hear what he's saying, and I can remember and try to analyze how he's coaching, right? Because there's a lot to be said about having a consistency in coaching, right? What your calls are, what terms what terminology you're using. You always help me with calling out the time, position, when you're down.
The voice will cut through no matter what. Like if you train with a guy and he's cornering you in class, like that's the voice you're gonna hear.
Yeah, you zero in on the voice. Yeah. That takes practice. That takes practice, because it's one thing for you to move and do something that you see. It's another thing for you to predict what's going to happen. You yell it out, and the guy actually does
say
it.
the right thing.
Exactly.
I see a lot of people get really excited, and they're just talking to talk. They're just yelling to yell, and some competitors respond well to just being a cheerleader. Like some people just want you in the back. Like they respond well. They're like, yeah, go, you got this. But if you're gonna be a corner that's giving like pertinent information, you've got to figure out how to communicate that to your competitor live and make sure it's still pertinent when it gets to them.
Exactly. It's moving fast. Yeah. especially like you got blue belt matches or you got
Yeah.
no-gi matches.
Yeah.
And they're just moving. Like, yeah, 1 second late is way too late already.
Yeah.
It's past.
I would say if you have the thoughts, if you want to corner at some point, start by like purple belt. Even if you're just taking like kids matches, or like just some white belt matches, like take 1 or 2 people. Like, yeah, you mind if I corner you this match? Talk to the black belt, the head coach. I'm like, hey, you mind if I corner this match? To build those skills, because like you said, it's hard to build them when all of a sudden you're like in the hot seat and it's like, oh, wait a minute.
Yeah.
I see a lot of these gyms where they got multiple guys spread out so they can cover all the competitors. And it's like, I like seeing not just one person, but they've already pre-planned, hey, you got this guy, you got this guy, you got this guy, I'm gonna be on this side of the mat. And it's like, oh, you guys thought this through. Like that's really good as far as their planning and their like future of the gym.
Do you remember
for
when
competitions.
you first cornered somebody?
I did a few, like, so back in the days, Hawaii didn't have as many competitors, so we would all kind of corner each other. Did some MMA matches, some kickboxing matches. I remember my first one. It had to have been one of the overseas jiu-jitsu tournament or over mainland jiu-jitsu tournaments.
Were you at like, you remember like what level you were at or how far into your
Like
journey you were?
blue purple.
Blue purple.
And a lot of us, we didn't. It wasn't like now where everyone trains together regularly. Like we were training together like here and there in secret, or like when we were at the tournaments, we would all get together. So we didn't know each other's games as well. And we had a couple guys that would really help us with like what was important. And that's when I was like, I want to just hear what other coaches are yelling. So I started listening to other corners.
Observing, yeah.
And like what I liked, what I thought worked well. But I wouldn't say I was good at that point. It was like I was learning how to do it and learning what I liked. And then obviously the more I competed, the more I knew what I wanted to hear. And I made like how I corner is also like what I want to hear when I'm cornering, because I figured that's what I started to hear. And then I had corners where like I couldn't hear them because of whatever reason, you know, they were too excited or they weren't giving information fast enough, and I was like, it didn't help. Like I heard you, but it didn't help. So yeah, I just pretty much made it to like what I preferred. But I did study a lot of guys as far as like what they give. My name thing is a Danaher thing. I really like starting with a person's name and ending with the person's name. And then time. I'm real big on like time and score.
Right.
Like I tell everyone, just tell them how much time is left, and don't give them the absolute score. Give them the relative score. Like you're up 3, like you're down 1 advantage. Don't say it's 6-3 with.
So you
2
gotta
advantages.
calculate like
Yeah.
what? Huh?
Yeah. And like you hear guys, 2 minutes, 2 minutes. Is it 2 minutes in, 2 minutes left? Right. So like I'm always tell guys like be clear and concise with that.
Yeah, I haven't really, aside from being at tournaments to study people, I haven't really studied anything online.
Yeah, it's
or
hard.
Follow
You can't
people's
hear 'em.
matches. Yeah, a lot of times you can't hear.
Yeah.
But a lot of times when I watch Danaher, he's just watching.
Yeah.
But his athletes know exactly what to do.
Yeah.
All the prep work was done before the match. Yeah,
Yeah.
he just sits there. He just looks around. It's like, oh.
I've seen Daisy Fresh. Spatch is the one that yells, but Heath is giving a lot of information to Spatch. And I was like, oh, that's really good, because Spatch has one of those really distinct voices. He has the Aussie accent and everything. And I was like, oh, that's a good strategy, because everyone hears his voice, and he gets a lot of love, but he gets a lot of hate online. Because he's like, da, 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 da. But then when you're sitting next to him, you can see Heath giving the information, and the information is getting passed on. I like that strategy too, where you can save your voice, and you can focus more on just getting the information to him.
Yeah, because one of the things I really needed, Carter and I had to work on, was projecting our voice.
Yeah,
We don't
you
talk
guys
loud.
both are soft.
We don't talk very loud. So I try to look up YouTube videos, and he says, "Come on, Dad, you got to talk louder." Okay, I'm trying. I don't want to strain my voice, but I try to talk as loud as I can. And a lot of times I said, "Could you hear me?" No. Competitors can't hear me. I go, I'm trying. I'm yelling as loud as I can, within reason.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do need to work on projecting my voice a little better.
Yeah. Some guys just have like voices that project well.
Yeah.
I did a match once, and Tang from Underground.
Yeah,
He was just watching the match. That's the only voice I heard. Like, he wasn't in the corner or nothing, but I heard his voice. Like, I could have a conversation with him. Look, I'm just smiling at him. Like, I don't know what anyone else is saying right now. Some guys' voices is just like straight through there. They're good. They project well. No.
All right.
Anything else?
I think that kind of covers for me.
Yeah. I think on this one, like we've been saying, subjective. Everyone's gonna have their opinions.
Yes.
Guys, we actually want to hear your thoughts on this. Like, please comment. Hey, I agree with this. I disagree with this. Try and keep it respectful. Because again, it's just our opinions. There's no standardization. There's no right or wrong on this. So, please comment on the video and let us know what you think.
Just small man and medium man coming up with their input.
And that is all we got, Molly Girl Productions. We are out.